Okay, y'all. Finally, we got some good news to talk about. Something that's worth mentioning. Like I told you, I love to find good news, man. But these are things. What this story I want you guys to hear. Okay, these are the types of things that police should be proud of, and that people can feel good about because all we see are these negative cops. Every police that has any dignity, any pride, any self-respect, that has a loving heart, that's actually a human being, should be proud to speak for things like this and should want to display these type of things themselves and should actually despise dirty ass cops. So basically these two black brothers in Kansas City, they sell lemonade in the same spot every year. Somebody decided to call the police on him. Want to be an asshole. Don't know who and don't know the nationality or if it was a racist thing. Could have been a black person who as well. Don't know whoever did it. Could have been anybody. But it didn't go the way that they thought it was going to go. Let's listen to this story and then I'm going to close out.
Two young brothers in Kansas City, Kansas just wanted to sell lemonade this summer. What happened when police were called to their stand is a story you are going to want to see. KCTV5's Zach Fisher has more.
Jakai and Perez Reese have been selling lemonade here on 33rd and Webster for years. But this week, when life gave them lemons, Kansas City's finest made sure they sold every cup. It all started with a 911 call. One police haven't heard before. Someone notifying them about two boys selling lemonade on the corner. But when Kansas City, Kansas police and firefighters arrived, they didn't shut the stand down. They became its best customers. Officer Morgan Reed was among the first to pull up during the afternoon shift.
I was calling everybody, I was just calling everybody, hey, make sure you guys stop by the lemonade stand. And then just whenever they were busy, a couple people were able to swing by.
Those calls worked. When all is said and done, the boys sold more lemonade and Kool-Aid fruit to dozens and dozens of officers in about 30 minutes.
Grape, and I think that was blue raspberry.
It totaled $280. But for Perez and Jakai, it wasn't about the money.
They gave us like some stickers, they gave us a lot of things. And I used it on my shirt, and then they was like, now you're a official police officer.
Officer Reed liked it so much, she came back Thursday, spending another chunk of change. She says moments like this are exactly what community policing is supposed to look like. And for Perez, the motivation behind the stand goes beyond the badge stickers.
I just wanted to help the homeless and buy me a new e-bike because that had been my dream since I was little. Use the money for my nephew and niece inside. I was going to use the money to buy them diapers and stuff.
Not a bad squeeze for a couple of kids just trying to make a difference. The boys tell me they're going to be out here all summer selling lemonade. Officer Reed says that she had to come back, and after tasting lemonade myself, honestly can't blame her. Kansas City, Kansas, Zach Fisher, KCTV5 News.
Now, I just want to say this, okay? That is exactly what needs to happen when some idiot, low-life, scumbag, troublemaker, miserable person decides, I'm going to make a call to the police. Oh, they probably don't have a permit or whatever. Yeah, one of these Karens, right? Just decide they're going to call the police. So imagine if the police would have pulled up and told them that they can't do that. You have to have a permit or whatever. Or they're out here doing something productive. As you heard, they're trying to use the money to get stuff that they need. And that was a proud moment. Now, all the officers that showed up were white. And there's a little black kid that one of the female officers was holding on her shoulders and whatever. And, if these two young men ever, let's say they become officers, hopefully they'll have that mentality to serve and protect and not be a bunch of tyrants. And, this really burns me up about people because if they were out in the neighborhood cutting up and causing trouble and doing a bunch of wrong, then you got these racist people. Oh, it's always them. No, it's always you motherfuckers. But yeah, they always want to come up with a bunch of negative talk and wanting to be able to point a finger to try to make a point like, this is all black people do. Now you got two young boys out here not trying to sell drugs, not stealing, not trying to do anything wrong. Too young to work, to get hired by anybody else, but They have snacks, they got lemonade and Kool-Aid and all of that, and this is what they're doing. So these police, as you can hear, the first one that got called was the female officer. So she's calling all of her co-workers, telling them to stop by the lemonade stand, and they went and got a fire truck full of people and brought them back to buy lemonade and snacks from them, and was treated with nothing but kindness and respect. And I say salute to those police officers that showed up, because again, this is exactly what the world needs. We don't need tyrant cops. And this is one of the things, like I said, man, it's hard to tell who's who. Every time you turn around, you see a video of a police officer killing someone, like this Latino kid. Him and his buddies were practicing. They were on a football team. I forget where they were. And the police just pull up and they're sitting there just watching him. And they wound up leaving, because this cop was just like, why is he just sitting there staring at, like, watching us or whatever? And he follows them. Now, there was no illegal turning, nothing wrong with the car, nothing. And basically, he didn't stop for the cop because he didn't trust him. Kid was probably scared, and he basically wanted to get home to his dad and talk to his dad, let his dad talk to this cop, because the guy's following him. And obviously the friends that was in the car told the story of what happened. He was just trying to get home to his dad. That cop pulled up. There was no talking. There was no nothing, no warning, no nothing. He just pulled up and he shot the kid. And this is how his father came out and found his son, lifeless and laying there, because he did nothing. And that actual police that shot him, they said he has a history of this type of stuff. And these are the type of scumbags that Trump tried to fucking erase 150,000 corrupt police records. These are the types of things. When you got the president, a scumbag, is the president of a country and advocates for racism and slavery tactics and says these things to the American public. Yet you got the nerve to want to deport people, talking about they're here legally, there's crimes, but yet you take criminal cops and protect them. So this type of stuff is what's necessary. And it's sad because Kansas City is only one place and we can't go around just trusting cops in general. And it's sad because they're supposed to serve and protect. But I've even heard police tell people, that's old stuff. We don't serve and protect. We do what we want. I've heard cops say that. And so for me to see this story, I said, no, I can't look past this. I had no intentions on looking past it. This is the point what I'm saying, because all we get all week long, all year long, is always bad news, negativity. So hopefully for these two young men, they can do what they do and they grow up and be, continue to they seem like good kids, man. Grow up and, looking at them, they look like they're not even teenagers yet. But bottom line, it would have been really a scumbag situation had these cops told them they had to move. What are they hurting? They're not selling drugs in that spot. They're not disrespecting anybody. They're actually, out here. They had some kids out here around the corner from me. They were trying to sell some things that they had, like water guns, and I don't have any little kids in my house anymore, so there was nothing that they had that I needed. So I said, yeah, I stopped. They say, hey, mister, we got this, we got that. I said, all right. So listen, I said, you going to be right here in about 20 minutes? She said, yeah, we live right here. I said, all right. I said, I'm going to come back in 20 minutes. Now, I didn't need anything that they had. But what happened within that 20 minutes time, when I came home, there was some kids on the other end of the street. They were outside playing, right? And it was hot that day. This is probably like 3 years ago, maybe like 3-4 years ago. And it was really hot that day. And they were outside just running around playing. What I noticed they didn't have, and I never see these kids with like toys or anything. So when I went back around the corner, they had water guns. And I told the kid, I said, all right, fill it up with water so I know that it worked, right? And they did, man, tested it out and everything was good. So I bought like 4 water guns from them. They had a bunch of little things. They had the bubbles that you blow and all that, the big one, all this kind of stuff. And I went and before I bought it, I saw the mom outside and she, hey, how you doing? And I spoke with them and I said, you guys going to be in the next few minutes? She said, yeah. Wow, what's going on? What's happening? Cookout or something? I said, not quite. I said, just okay. I said, give me a few minutes. I'll be right back. So I went over there and I bought pretty much like everything they had. And everything that they were selling was like $2, $3, right? So for what they had, everything probably would have been like 20 something bucks. I gave them $100 bill and said, listen. No, I gave him $100, not $100 bill. Gave him $100. Oh, mister. I said, all right. I said, so this is what you do. Whatever you do with the money, that's, whatever. I said, your mom and the mother came out and hey, she waved. I waved to them. I said, Mom, he just bought all that stuff. And he's like, she knew that basically I gave. He's like, sir, you sure you don't want your check? I said, no. I said, this was on purpose. I said, y'all welcome. No, thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Right? And I went around the corner and I gave those toys and stuff to those kids because those kids didn't have. Now, my thing with that was when you do good deeds like that, sometimes it doesn't mean anything to people. And a lot of times it doesn't, people don't even acknowledge things like that, that there's somebody around that looks out for certain people. The town I used to live in, I used to go take the kids on the street, take them to the corner store, buy them all juices and water and stuff and whatever, and look out for them and stuff like that. I didn't have to, but this is what I'm saying. Most of these people, they don't even remember you. That's just how life works, right? But a lot of times you might do things for people and it might stick with them. They might remember and they might end up being the type of person where they stay away from negativity. They remember things that people did do for them. This is why it's tough when people go through things and all you have is bad memories and the good things that happen is outweighed by the bad things. So you end up going the wrong direction. So me personally, when I see stuff like this, man, it hits different. And you know what? That right there is what the world needs to see more of. And the sad thing about it, man, is because, like you got that one video, but, it's just that one incident. But we're going to pump that one incident. We're going to put that out there and make it known that this happened. And I'm glad for them young men. And I salute those police officers for conducting themselves like human beings and not a bunch of savages, a bunch of racist, hate-filled motherfuckers who had these little kids out here doing something productive, trying to make some money, and all for good reasons. And they didn't come out there and shut them down and make a problem, Yeah, and the crazy part is I had just watched the video before that one, where there was this white family and the white girl, she was punching the cop, hitting him, get the fuck out of me, this and this and this, and I'm going to tase you. This went on for like 10 minutes. And then the mother ran and wrapped her arms around the daughter like, she's pregnant, like she's shielding her, like, fuck that, you have to tase me. That cop was pleading and trying to talk. Why didn't he grab her and punch her in the face? You seen them manhandle pregnant women before? None of them was white. No, punching them, grabbing them, slamming them down on all that, tasing them, and no. Why didn't he do all of that to her? We know why. And it's not that we're wishing bad things on people. It's just it makes me sick to my stomach when I see shit like that, because I know why they're sparing them and why they're not attacking them. I know why, and you know why, and they know why, and the people that they're sparing actually knows why. Whole thing, get the fuck off our property. Close the garage door and everything. He had to go call for backup to get them out the house. Yeah. But there was no manhandling of this woman. And she's pregnant, right? Never stopped them before, just saying. So now when I see this, and it wasn't, any officers that was there, if there were any black was there, they didn't show them on camera. It was all white officers there. But I'm saying, plain and simple, this is what needs to happen. What are you calling the police on these young boys for? What are they doing wrong? What are they doing wrong? Got their little tent, got their little table and their lemonade stand out there. What are they doing wrong? They're out there doing something positive. Just like these college kids going to school, coming from school. Next thing you know, the police is knocking your window open, slamming you in your face, punching you in the face, knock your tooth out. All of this shit. This is where you think your young son or daughter is going. They're on their way to school, but they have no idea you got to get a call saying that your son or your daughter is being held by the police. just for you to get there and see your kid's face all swollen up, and they're telling you that the kid didn't comply and all this. And we see this excessive, just, what's the goal here? I'm going to take my fist and punch you in your face. I always tell people that I know, imagine if I was a corrupt police officer with the damage that I can do to a person. And that makes them go, damn, shit, fuck. Yeah, that's a nightmare, bro. Damn. Yeah. So that's the whole thing that I'm saying. So even when you're doing something productive, when you are a good person, you're not conducting yourself in any trashy type of way, and you are a good person, but you got some racist piece of shit corrupt cop that decides, nope, I got the power, nigga, and I'm gonna do what I want to do. And all of a sudden now you're a bad guy because, and all we get is a bunch of black attorneys, different reporters that's black, that is pretty much saying you just gotta comply. Wait. If you pull up, you're not reading the person their rights. You're not even telling them why you're pulling them over. You're just barking out commands, yelling, screaming, acting all intense and fucking stupid. And then 5 or 6 people cuffing you, slamming you to the ground and punching you. What's the beat down about? What is all that about? Because if a person doesn't react the way you want them to, the second you want them to, automatically now you go into, I'm going to hit this person more. That's the motive before they even approach you. And it could have been the wrong set of cops. I don't know if this police station is ran differently. I don't know. But it just the thought of what could have happened versus what did happen. I'm glad that these young men are okay. And I just wanted to put that out there. And like I said, salute to everybody in that video, because this is what we need to see way more often. There will be much more. Just imagine. I think people in this world have gotten so used to the negative stuff that they don't want to see good things. Just like when people say, I don't want to rap about no positive shit. Fuck that. Nobody want to hit it. Yeah, because that's their attitude. And if you don't want to make songs positive, that means your actions are negative. And like I say, if the officers think the same way, the judges, the doctors, the teachers, all that, we could have saved that black nigga. But hell, I let her die. I became a doctor to save my people. Yeah, freedom of speech, right? Freedom of thinking how you want, not doing the right thing. That's the fucking route y'all go. But y'all don't realize how deep this is until something happens where I know this motherfucker let my mom down on purpose. That school teacher lied on my son or my daughter. Oh yeah, and they're doing nothing about it. I don't have money for an attorney, or I get an attorney, but I got a racist judge. Yeah, that's when you start to wake up and realize nobody else's situation mattered to you, but now you have a situation. Now everybody's supposed to care about your situation. But then you meet people with the same mentality as you. Man, fuck them niggas, man. Get fuck what happened to them. Yeah. The white kids don't have to comply, but the black ones do. The white kids can curse, spit on them, do whatever, but the black ones can't. There's no consequences for the white kids, just the black kids. See, that. And in general, people in general, grown up or kids, but that is a problem. Because now you're accepting this. It reminds me of when I was a kid, I told y'all, it was kind of confusing because I ain't never seen my father get bitched or punked by nobody. And I seen my pop whoop ass before. All right? But they tried to instill fear in us to keep us from, they felt like the less we knew, the safer we'd be. And that shit wasn't working for us because it's like, we're not doing anything wrong. What is it that you like assuming? They just didn't trust these racist ass cops. And they know how people went, and neighbors, they knew. But basically what I saw in my dad is that all it took was for somebody to talk about God, and then all of a sudden, bow, you had him hooked. But they was trying to put that fear in us, and we wasn't going for that bullshit. Fear of what? And this is what people are trying to bring back. They want black people to be fearful. See, without unity, we're divided. We don't have the numbers that we need to stand up as a whole. And this is what people get used to. And that's why they want to keep you separated. That's why they want to keep you mentally in a position of not knowing what you should. Because the more ignorant you are and the longer you stay ignorant, the more damage that's going to be done. And that's why you probably got more coons and sellouts than you got stand-up men and women. Because all of that, shh, be quiet. Just be seen. Yeah, that's how y'all navigate through life. Dipping and dodging and hoping that you don't be seen because you don't want these problems. You can, like I said, be simply just going to the corner store, going to get some gas, something simple, and just have the wrong people around when something goes down. And if you got these racist cops, like that 22-year-old cop that got fired for beating up that autistic black girl, just think about this. They tell you at 22 you ain't learned shit yet. You ain't experienced life yet. But you're 22, you're an officer. And your first train of thought is, I'm going to punch and beat on this black girl. So a badge, just think about it. A badge, a piece of paper, and some fucking words, and you raising your right hand, that means you got the authority to just abuse and brutalize people. And you guys are okay with that. I'm glad that I got to tell this story this way instead of this being either one of these kids slapped on their face and beaten up. Oh, and have you idiot coons or some racists. Oh, they gotta have a permit. You can't just shut the fuck up. Shut your bitch ass up. Because drug dealers don't have permits. Okay, criminals don't have permits. Okay, cops are not even reading you your rights. They're not even doing their jobs properly. They're kicking doors in of the wrong house and killing people. Which means what? They're killing the wrong people. And we're sorry, our condolences yeah. And you guys are okay with that monkey ass shit. But anyway, salute to this whole situation. And you know what? Hopefully we start to get a lot more of that and we get rid of these racist cops. We get this president that's in office out the fuck out of here. And hopefully something happened where just people just start to understand, man, we need to stand together instead of divided. There's a lot more I can say, but I'm going to end it right here. Catch you guys on the next video.